When you were 5 years old, were you the one calming your parents down? When you were 8, were you already reading the room before you spoke? When you were 10, did people call you an old soul and you smiled? But inside it hurt because you knew it wasn't a compliment. It was proof that childhood had been stolen from you. If you nodded to any of that, this video will finally explain why you still feel like you carrying a weight no one else can see. Before we go deeper, subscribe. This channel is for people who grew up too fast and are finally ready to understand why. You're not alone in this. Here's the truth no one tells you. Your maturity wasn't the problem. The problem was that you never had a choice. While other kids were playing, you were mediating your parents' fights. While other kids were being comforted, you were doing the comforting. While other kids got to be children, you became the emotional anchor of a sinking household. And the world praised you for it. They called you responsible, mature, wise beyond your years, an old soul. But every time someone said that, it cut deeper. Because what they were really saying was this: we see that you had to survive something you shouldn't have. And instead of protecting you, we're going to celebrate how well you handled your own abandonment. Let me paint a picture. You're 6 years old and your father is crying. Not because he's hurt, but because he's overwhelmed. And somehow, without anyone teaching you, you know that you need to comfort him. You put your tiny hand on his shoulder and say, "It's going to be okay, Daddy." And he believes you. Because you've become so good at this. At being the adult when the adults couldn't be. Or maybe you're the child of divorce. And your parents, in their pain, forgot that you're not their therapist. So they told you things. Adult things, marriage things, and you listened. And you carried those secrets like stones in your pockets, getting heavier every year. Until one day you realized you can't remember a single moment of your childhood where you weren't worried about someone else. This is what psychologists call parentification. It's when a child is forced to become the parent, the mediator, the caregiver, the emotional regulator for adults who should have been regulating for them. And it doesn't just happen in obviously broken homes. It happens in homes that look fine from the outside. Homes where everyone says your parents did their best, but their best required you to become someone you weren't ready to be. And here's what no one talks about. What saves you then imprisons you now. The hyperindependence that kept you safe as a child becomes the wall that keeps people out as an adult. The ability to read the room that protected you then makes you hypervigilant now. The skill of putting everyone else's needs first, that survival mechanism, it turned into a core belief that your own needs are dangerous. Let me explain what I mean. You learned, without anyone saying it explicitly, that other people's needs are urgent and yours are negotiable. That their pain matters and yours is an inconvenience. So you became the person who never asks for help, who can't accept love without feeling like you owe something in return, who works yourself to exhaustion because productivity feels like safety. Because if you're useful, maybe you're worth keeping. And people praise you for this too. They call you independent, self-sufficient, low maintenance. But what they don't see is the terror underneath, the fear of being a burden. The belief that if you need something, you'll be abandoned. The way you've trained yourself to be so small, so quiet about your own struggles, that you've become invisible even to yourself. Here's something else. Your nervous system adapted to chaos as your baseline. Peace feels wrong. Calm feels suspicious. When things are going well, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because in your childhood, quiet meant something was wrong. Calm was the eye of the storm. So even now, when you're safe, when life is actually okay, your body doesn't believe it. You create problems where there aren't any. You self-sabotage. Not because you're broken, but because chaos is what you know. It's where you learn to survive. And love. Let's talk about love. When you grew up being the one who gave and never received, love became transactional in your mind. It became something you earned through service, through being good enough, through never being too much. So when someone loves you without conditions, it doesn't feel like relief. It feels like a trap, like a debt you'll eventually have to pay. And that's exhausting. Then there are the boundaries. Or the lack of them, because saying no was never safe. Saying no might have made things worse. Saying no might have meant losing the little bit of love you were getting, so you said yes. To everything. To everyone. And now, decades later, the word no still feels like a betrayal. Even when saying yes is destroying you. But here's what I need you to hear. You are not broken. You are not too damaged. You are not beyond healing. What happened to you was not your fault. And the fact that you survived it, the fact that you're here watching this, trying to understand yourself better, that's not weakness. That's strength. That's courage. The little kid inside you, the one who had to grow up too fast, they're still there. And they're waiting for you to finally give them what no one else did. Permission to rest, permission to play, permission to need things, permission to not be okay, permission to just be a kid, even if it's 40 years too late. Healing doesn't mean going back and changing what happened. It means going back and holding that child's hand. It means telling them what they needed to hear then. It wasn't your fault. You deserve better. You were just a child. You didn't have to be perfect. You didn't have to save everyone. You were allowed to need things too. And slowly, very slowly, you start to reparent yourself. You let yourself cry when you need to. You say no without apologizing. You accept help without feeling like you owe someone. You rest without guilt. You allow yourself to be imperfect, messy, human. You stop performing strength and start actually being strong, which sometimes looks like admitting you're not okay. This is the work, and it's hard. Because it asks you to unlearn everything that kept you alive. It asks you to trust that peace isn't a trap, that love doesn't have conditions, that your needs aren't dangerous, that you're allowed to take up space, that you don't have to earn your existence. But you know what the most beautiful part is? Breaking the cycle. Not becoming the parent who needs their child to be the adult, not passing on the trauma, not making another kid grow up too fast because you didn't know how to heal. That's the work. That's the gift. That's how you turn your pain into purpose. So, if you're 50 and you're finally understanding why you are the way you are, welcome, you're right on time. And if you're 30 or 40 or 60, same thing. It's never too late to give yourself the childhood you deserved. It's never too late to let that kid inside you finally rest. Now I need you to do something. In the comments, finish this sentence. I knew I grew up too fast when ... Share your moment. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to feel less alone today. And if this video helped you finally understand yourself, share it. Send it to someone who needs to hear this, because the validation we've been searching for from others needs to become the validation we give ourselves. And subscribe. We create content for people who are done surviving and ready to start healing. You've been strong long enough. It's time to be free. You didn't get to be a child then. But you can honor that child now, and that's not weakness. That's the bravest thing you'll ever do.